Hi, this is Christina again. I'm Releasing for a Better Life. This is a program which I created off of many years of trying to make my life better and come up with ways to deal with stress and anxiety and problems in my life. The program is very simple. I just want to remind you again how it works. It's about releasing everything in your life, good, bad, anything that's going on, into a bubble and letting that bubble go up to God. You imagine it's being released. I imagine mine as birds flying up to God, and then God fixes them or gives you answers and sends these birds back. That's how I do it. My husband does it different. He imagines just a big balloon going up there and God taking the balloon and fixing it and sending it back. So everybody has different ways, but as long as you have a way of releasing to God and coming back, and God will send you messages. And those messages vary. Sometimes it's intuition. Sometimes it's repeating numbers. Sometimes it's a book you magically find, like I did one, like just drawn into a store and I magically found a book. There's just lots of different ways. If you're open to communication, they will happen for you. Again, these videos that I do are an actual journal, so you can see how it's working for me. It is just an amazing process. I can't tell you how much I've grown and learned since I've been doing this, and I encourage everybody to try. It's a combination of meditation and prayer, and it doesn't require a certain faith. If you don't want to call it God, don't call it God. Whatever you feel like doing with this on that way, as long as you're releasing to a higher power, however you see that. I even have a friend that's an atheist that's been trying this and it feels great. I am not a religious affiliation and I do this, so I call it God because that's how I grew up. I did grow up with a Christian background. So anyway, so what I want to talk about today, there's two things I want to talk about. Last week, I talked about how I was having kind of a bad day at work. I was having a bad night. It was horrible. I was incredibly stressed. I was having a hard time with another person, and I had a moment and I called my husband and I said, I am so stressed over what's going on. And even, the most together people who are practicing this on a regular basis are still going to have stress, and that's something to realize. But anyway, my husband, said, why don't you release it? He said, you're having a hard time. And I said, I wish I did. I know it only takes a few minutes, but right now I don't feel like I'm in my right mindset. So my husband said, no worries. I'll release it for you. I'll release your problems. And sure enough, within, I would say 20, 30 minutes, that person that I was having a problem with apologized, we got along fine, and then it ended up being okay. So he was able to do a release for me and make it work. Well, the other part of this, so I wanted to talk about this. So I have, as I've said in the past, I have 4 children. And one of my children was really having a problem at work. And I felt like this would be the perfect opportunity to try this releasing for somebody else, just to see what, if it really does work, to release someone else's issues or problems. If they're not in the place, maybe they don't know how to do this, maybe it's not where they're at, maybe it's, they're just not in a place like I wasn't. So I decided to release his problems for him. And so I did. I went out and I spent, maybe about 15 minutes really talking about the problems my son was having with work and with issues. And mind you, my son is in a totally different state. He's not even close to me physically. And he had no idea I was doing this, none whatsoever. So I released it one night, and I imagined those words, instead of coming back to me, I imagined those words going back to my son and helping him figure out his problem, helping him find a solution, a message. So anyway, my son called 2 days later and he was fired from his job. He was fired. And normally this would send any of us into a tailspin when we're fired. And like I said, he was having problems anyway. So he got fired, and he said, you know what, Mom, instead of being stressed and instead of being anxious, I just decided to make a call to an old boss I had that really liked me. I had put in an application anyway, so I called him just to ask him how, had he gotten my application, what was going on. Instead of being stressed, I decided just to do this. And lo and behold, not only did he get a job that day from his former boss, but he got a promotion. He got a higher position in management. And it was, I mean, he just handled it like a pro. He didn't get stressed, he didn't get anxious, and it happened. And I do believe this is a direct result of me releasing this for him. He said for the first time when something happened, he didn't get stressed or anxious or upset. He just let it go and it worked. Everything was fine. And now he's excited about his new job. He's excited about the possibilities. So it shows me that yes, you can release for someone else. Of course, I know this person. I have a direct connection with this person. So this is, it'd be something to try it on somebody else. And that's what I plan to do, is find someone that maybe I know, but I'm not close to, and that I know is having a problem, and just release it for them to see if they don't feel better. Because I can tell you, every time I'm incredibly stressed, every time I feel overwhelmed, and I do a great release to God, I feel better. It just turns things around for me. And, so this is what I wanted to do. So this is my goal for next week, to go ahead and try and release for another person, to see if this will happen again. So, and some people may say, oh, it's a coincidence, but I don't believe it is, because I've seen my son struggle for so many years. And I know he has a lot of the same anxiety that I have. So it was just a great positive result, and I'm super excited about it. So the other thing I want to talk about today, and this is something that's been kind of coming up, and this is somewhat to do with some of the law of attraction stuff, which you can absolutely use this program for. And that's about talking to your angels. Now, can you talk to your angels and ask them for things? Sure. But one thing I'm learning as I'm talking to my angel and working with my angel to create this other life that I want, is that you can use your angel just as someone to talk to, someone to bounce ideas off of, someone to bounce stress off of, someone to let know what's going on in your life. That's absolutely okay. But when it comes to what you want, you need to be singular and clear. And what do I mean by singular and clear? You need to make sure that you're not asking for 1,000 things. If you want a relationship, ask for a relationship. If you want a new job, ask for a job. If you want both, well, pick the one that's more important right now to get, because it's too much. It's too much for you. It's too much for your angel. You just need to focus on the one thing, and then you need to be clear what you want. So I don't want you saying, oh, I want a relationship with a perfect man who's got lots of money and this and this and that. You say, I want a relationship with someone who's good and loving, who has a job. Be perfectly clear what you want, and then ask for that, and ask for it all the time as if it's there. Now, that is a law of attraction rule, but it works fantastic when working with your angels. So, you want a relationship, you say, I know I have met the man of my dreams. He's got money. He's amazing. He's handsome. He's kind. He's loving. He's generous. He's my best friend. Whatever you're looking for, you make sure those are clear, and you say it in the terms that you already have it. Now, why do you want to say it in the terms you already have it? Well, if you listen to the law of attraction, that brings in what you're looking for. But more importantly, it re-triggers your mind to what you're going for. So if you talk about it as if it isn't here yet, you're triggering yourself in a lack, and you're asking your angel for something that it's like you don't believe it's there. If you talk about it as if you already have it, then it's a positive form. You're saying it in, something that in your mind is triggered very positive and happy. Like if you did find your soulmate, you would be elated. And it also triggers all the complications that you might have with that as well. All the issues you might have with, Amy, you'd love to say, oh, I met my perfect man and it's beautiful and it's perfect and there's no problems. Well, that's not true. That even in the most perfect relationships, that there's problems. So that it will bring up those emotions. The more you talk about this and say, I met my perfect man. He's amazing. He's beautiful. Maybe he's not as clean as I want. And that'll trigger that in your head. Oh, you know what? I realize that although that's not a definitive thing that I won't have someone who's messy, I know that that could be a problem. So right now I'm going to release that to God, that I realize that might be an issue for me. So it's a perfect compliment. So you can ask the angels for exactly what you want, but all these emotions that start flowing in, start to give you a place to release. It's amazing. So for instance, I have a friend that wants to be a multimillionaire. And so she's talking to me. I want to be a multimillionaire. I said, so say it like you already have it. Talk to your angels if you already have it. Say, angel, thank you for making me a multimillionaire. Thank you for bringing me this money. Thank you for giving me all of this. And I said, and so we started to allow her to just kind of go through it. And, as she talked, she said, and I trust, angel, that you'll protect me when people try and get my money. I know that you'll protect me when people try and rob me. I know that you'll protect me when people try and hack into my accounts. And all of a sudden, we realized that she had all these other fears around getting money. She wants it. It's hers. But she has these fears that she maybe didn't acknowledge. She knew they were there, but she didn't acknowledge them. So she was able to take those fears and release them to God. So that way she's open to just say it. And the more those fears come up, and if they repeat, she just continues to release until those fears no longer exist. Not that they're not always going to be in the back of her head, but they don't take priority over her final goal. So this is why it's so important when you talk as if you have it and allow a conversation to have as if you have something, you're able to kind of dive in and see your fears around it and the blocks and release them. It's amazing. It's really pretty fantastic. So anyway, I hope this helps. I could go on to this forever, but I hope this helps. I hope this gives you a little bit of understanding about how this can work for you. And I definitely hope everybody tries this. It's really such a great program. I can't even stress enough how much I've changed over the time since I've been doing this. If you need help with it, please feel free to contact me. Or leave a message. I'm trying to answer them. I'm getting quite a few messages, so just be patient with me. But, I want to help you, and I want to help you make this part of your life. Again, it can be part of your everyday life. It's very simple, and over time, it really becomes something that you rely on to help you be a better person and find some calmness and excitement in your life. Anyway, I will see you next week. Again, this week I'm going to work on helping release other people's stress and anxiety that I see. So I will talk to you later and wish me luck. Bye-bye.